Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Jamie Margolin. I'm a 15-year-old climate justice ambassador here, and I've been an activist for almost a year and a half now. And before I start, I just want to give a hand to Grace, who's been working so hard making this whole thing possible. So we're all she's been working so hard, not just here, but all the time. So keep it up, Grace. Okay, so my name is Jamie, and I got involved with climate justice work for the same reason that you all are here. Because I care about my future, and I really want to make sure that we have a bright future that is not polluted and an earth that is clean. So I got involved with Plant for the Planet about a little over a year ago, and I just came to a meeting. Fun fact, I haven't actually gone through the training yet. No one, but I just came to a meeting, and I sat in, and I was really inspired by all the young people doing awesome work, and I decided I want to join this club. And so I began my work with Plant for the Planet, and my very first excursion, my very first activism trip was I went to Olympia. Does everyone know what Olympia is? Yes. It's the capital of Washington, and I went there, and I hadn't ever spoken to leaders before. I hadn't ever done any activism work before, and I went there, and suddenly I was faced with all these leaders, all these politicians in front of me, and we were going there to talk to them about passing laws to fight climate change, because the people in Olympia, they have the power to pass laws, they have the power to change our futures, but they're not. And so we were there to kind of give them a nudge and say, hey, can you fight for our futures? Can you fight for our earth? And I was really insecure, and I really didn't believe in myself. I was there because I cared about the earth, but I didn't really think that I myself could make a difference. But after that trip changed everything, because I found myself in that room with all those leaders, and I was talking, and I talked about climate justice, and I talked about the earth, and it was a really great experience. And after that, I decided that I'm going to stick with this, and I'm going to keep fighting for climate justice. The work that we're all doing together is really, really important. Though climate change is not just about ice caps and polar bears. You know, when we learn about the melting ice caps, it's more than that. It's about our futures. It's about our dreams. I'm sure all of you here today, you have things that you want to be when you grow up, right? Like, let's say something. What do you want to be when you guys grow up? Awesome.
Plant for the planet.
Those all sound great. That sounds awesome. So, solving the climate crisis is about protecting those dreams. It's about making sure that we have all the resources that we need. It's about making sure that we have clean air and clean water and a healthy earth so that we can pursue these dreams. And so the work that you're going to do, you've all been trained climate justice ambassadors. You're going to get up here and give an awesome presentation. And the work that you're doing is important because you're fighting for your futures and you're fighting for your dreams. So a lot of the adult leaders in our world, you know, they messed up a little. They've put a lot, actually. You know, we're in a really hard state in that our world is pretty polluted right now, and there's a lot of problems. And as you go on to do this work, as you go on to be climate justice ambassadors, it can be really easy to get a little pessimistic and sad, and it can be really easy to just be angry all the time and say no to things like fossil fuels. But as you're working, I really want you to keep in mind, what do you want? Because saying no is not enough. So what do we all want to say no to as we work on climate justice? What are the things that we don't want to happen anymore? Does anyone have, right, no more fossil fuels, yeah?
No more cutting down trees.
That's a good one.
Yeah. No more ignorant politics.
No more what?
No more ignorant politics.
We're not going to talk about that right now, but yes. And so it can be easy to get caught up in what we don't want. But as you're working, you guys all have a ton of talents and skills. You guys all been working on giving presentations. You've been working on art. And so as you're working here with us, and as you want to be climate justice ambassadors, it's going to be really important that you guys think about what you do want. So we don't want climate change. We don't want trees to be cut down. We don't want fossil fuels. So what do we want? Does anyone have any ideas? What do we want? What's the world we want to create? Yeah?
We do want to treat a
want a ton of trees. Yeah?
We want to figure out a way to make the earth in balance and renewable.
Yeah, we want renewable energy. We want a balanced ecosystem. Yeah?
Politicians who do it.
We want politicians to work better. Yeah. Yes?
We want a world where everyone is as safe as they can possibly be.
Amen. We want a world where people are as safe as they can possibly be. And so as you guys go on and work as climate justice ambassadors, I want you guys to think about what you do want and use all your talents and skills to help with that. So I'm sure all of you also have passions and things you like to do outside of this, right? Because you're new to this. You guys, how many people like art here, right? You guys like music, all sorts of things. And so as you become climate justice ambassadors, you can use, I want you to guys get creative and use your artistic skills and use your, if you guys like to speak, if you guys like to play music, you can write music and play music about the climate crisis. Whatever skills that you have, use them to try to make this movement as colorful and as creative as we possibly can. Because, you know, it's boring just to say, yeah, I don't want fossil fuels, but to inspire people, we need to be using our art and our voices and our music and all of our passions to create change. And so, these are out of order. We are at a very special time right now in history right now because there's a quote from President Obama that I really like that says, "We are the first generation to really feel the impact of climate change, but we're the last that can do anything about it." And so right now, at this time, we have so much power. We can really shape the way that history is going to move. We can shape the way that we can shape the world that we want to see. And so that can be overwhelming, but that's also a really awesome thing because that means that doing this work and our lives right now and our passions are going to be so important going forward because you guys all have the power to get us out of this, not only get us out of this mess of climate change, but start working towards this future that we want. And using your ideas and passions to get creative and start bringing up with solutions. And I'm going to close soon, but I just wanted to give you a preview of some of the things that I'm working on. I've been with Plant for the Planet for about a little over a year now, and I've been using my passions and creativity to try to dream up some solutions. And so I am working with some people from the Women's March. Have you guys heard of the Women's March before? Yeah? Cool. I'm working with some different activists all over the country to start the Youth March for Climate Action Now. It's going to be this summer in Washington, D.C. And we're going to work on doing a lot of organizing right now, trying to get people together, get young people from all around the country involved. But I'm working on this march, and I hope later as you stick with us, you'll get to learn more about it and hopefully be a part of it. But that's something I'm working on. So we're going to be marching in D.C. for climate justice as young people, saying that we have all these dreams and we deserve a livable future where we can pursue them. And we deserve air that is clean, water that is drinkable, and an earth that is healthy. And so that's what I'm
with you in Washington, in Seattle?
Yeah, there's going to be sister marches as well, so if you don't have to fly over to DC to come, but that's just something that I'm working on, and as you are climate justice ambassadors, as you stick with us, you'll learn more. So I'll close up just by saying that you have more power than you think you have. I know as young people, a lot of times we're told that we have to wait until we graduate college to contribute to society. But that couldn't be farther than the truth. And here is proof. A fourth grader in Germany had an idea, and here in Seattle, we're living it and making it. Germany, so far away, a fourth grader had an idea, and it became a reality, and now here we are, pretty much living his dream, doing it. So you guys have more power than you think, and as you are climate justice ambassadors, go forth, do great things, and use your creativity and passions to make some change.
We don't want to let her leave the stage yet, and I'm preempting you, Sue, because we have a real brief announcement to make, and that is very critically important, though. And that is, we are so proud of Jamie Margolin and the other young adults that she's associated with, which is the older group of Plant for the Planet. But as such, we haven't been able to schedule any academy for the older group. But at this point, because of the wonderful work that Jamie has done, Some of it she's touched on, and some of it's this exciting climate march coming up next summer, and so many other things that Grace will take from here, and we have something for Jamie.
Oh, Kenny, you've been amazing since I met you. You know, I met you only a couple of months ago, I think. I heard about some of your work, but I've never actually managed to be at the same Plant for the Planet events as you were until a couple of months ago. But in just the time since you started working with Plant for the Planet, you swept in like a whirlwind, and you made the young adults group. You've done so much. It's amazing. And I know you haven't been through an academy yet, but you are undoubtedly a member of Plant for the Planet. And so here's your ambassador.